Hey kiddos, thanks so much for joining me for episode 3 of Chronicles in Compilation, where I have 3 minutes to review a movie. In this episode, we're going to be doing the third rebuild of Evangelion Movie, You Cannot Redo. There are actually 3 versions of this movie. There's the 3.0, which was the theatrical release, 3.33, which was the home video, and 3.333, which was the updated kind of 4K Blu-ray release. I watched the 3.33 release. I think that's the one that's going up on Amazon. As always, if I'm successful, I could be Asuka the Genius, and if I fail, you can call me Shinji the Brat. I'll be back in a second. So the movie starts off with Asuka on a journey, and she's trying to get Shinji back from Eva Unit 01. Then they get attacked by like some other enemy who we're not really introduced and is not explained who it is, but looks different than all the enemies that we've seen before. And Asuka's like, "Help me, Baka Shinji! Help me, Baka Shinji!" And like this crazy eye beam comes and like chops everybody up. And then Asuka finds up that she's kind of descending back into Earth because she got too close to gravity. We're back on Earth, and they pry Shinji out of Unit 01, and it seems like everything's really different. Asuka's got an eye patch. They're not at Nerve's headquarters. They're in this new, ship. Masato's now the captain of the ship. No one's explaining anything to Shinji. Shinji's like, "Hey, friends, it's good to see you again," and everyone's just sort of ignoring him. Then they get attacked by a bunch of angels, but the angels look completely different than the ones that we used to be. And Shinji's like, "I can go out and fight," and everyone's like, "You're not going to do anything. Just shut up and be quiet. Nobody likes you." And Shinji's still not quite sure what's going on, and they have not explained to the audience yet what is going on. Anyway, the angels attack. And then Asuka kind of fights them. Asuka actually can't go fight them yet, so they have this crazy ship, and the ship. They do this like incredibly long launch sequence for the ship for like 10 or 15 minutes. I guess they were watching old episodes of Space Battleship Yamato or Macross or something. This crazy ship attacks and kills the angel, and then everyone's cool. Then they bring Shinji, and they basically are like, "Yo, Shinji, you're a bad guy. We don't like you anymore." They put this collar on him, and they're like, "Yo, if you do anything, we're going to press the collar, and we're going to explode you." And he's like, "Hey, I thought you guys were my friends." Everyone's still ignoring him. And then they get attacked by the angels again, and then it punched through the ship, and then Rei's there, and she's like, "Why don't you come with me, Shinji?" And he's like, "Okay." So then they go back, and then we wind up that Masato's now leading this new organization called Willy, and they're fighting against Nerve, and Rei's at Nerve. And then there's this other new guy, like Kawara or something, and then he becomes friends with Shinji, and he's like, "Shinji, we could become best friends." And then they play the piano together, even though Shinji didn't know how to play the piano before. And then like they look up at the stars, and they act like all romantic, and Shinji gets all blushy, and then he's like, "Okay, Shinji, I'll tell you what happened." And then we find out that actually 14 years has gone by since the end of the last movie, and then the third impact was about to be started, but then it got stopped because they threw the spear through the angel thing. And then Shinji's like, "Oh no, I'm a horrible person." And then Kara's like, No, it's cool. If we just go pull these 2 spears out, it'll be fine, and then we can make the world better." So then they have a new Evangelion. It's Unit 13, but looks just like one, but it has 2 different people can pilot at the same time. And there's also, we find out that Rei actually died, and there's a different Rei who's like a clone of Rei, and we find out that Rei's a clone of Shinji's mom, and she's also trapped in Eva Unit 101, both Rei and Shinji's mom. And then anyway, they go get these spears out, and Shinji's like, "I'm gonna pull the spears out," and then Kawara's like, "No, that's a bad idea." And then Asuka shows up, and she's like, No, it's a really bad idea, don't do it. But he's like, "I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm gonna save the world." And then he pulls it out, and then everything goes crazy, and then the 4th impact starts, and they're trying to stop it. And then Mari and Asuka, they start fighting everybody, and they shoot, and they stop it, and Shinji winds up becoming God mode again. And then Kawara explodes, he blows up, and his dad's like, "Oh my God, we're going to plan." Anyway, thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I've done the first 2 rebuild of Evangelion movies, kind of leading up to the 4th one that's going to be released on Amazon this Friday, so keep an eye out for the review of that. Normally, this channel does mostly unboxings and the occasional anime review. New episodes go up every Wednesday, so check those out as well. Thanks so much, and keep collecting.